On June 7, 1992, 3 women disappeared from a quiet home in Springfield, Missouri. There were no signs of forced entry, no signs of a struggle. Their cars were still parked outside. Their personal belongings were left behind. More than 30 years later, the disappearance of Sherrill Levitt, Suzie Streeter, and Stacy McCall remains unsolved. Suzie Streeter and Stacy McCall had just graduated from high school on the evening of June 6, 1992. They attended graduation celebrations in Springfield. It was meant to be a normal night, a milestone, a beginning. Suzie lived with her mother, Sherrill Levitt, in a modest home on East Delmar Street. After their plans to stay elsewhere changed, the 2 friends returned to Suzie's home sometime after 2 a.m. Sherrill was already there. By all known accounts, nothing seemed unusual. Nothing appeared disturbed, and no one imagined that this would be the last confirmed sighting of all 3 women. The following morning, friends attempted to contact the girls. When calls went unanswered, 2 friends went to the house around midday. They noticed something unusual. The porch light globe had been shattered. Inside the home, the scene was calm. The television was on. The family dog was inside. The women's purses were neatly arranged. Their car keys were still there. There were no signs of forced entry, no visible signs of violence, yet Sherrill Levitt, Suzie Streeter, and Stacy McCall were gone. Police were notified later that day. Investigators searched the home carefully. There were no signs of a struggle, no blood, no definitive evidence indicating what had occurred. Several suspicious phone calls were reported after the women disappeared. Details about those calls have never been fully disclosed to the public. Authorities interviewed friends, neighbors, and known associates. Over the years, multiple persons of interest were considered, but no charges were filed. Search efforts quickly expanded beyond the immediate neighborhood. Investigators canvassed nearby homes and interviewed residents who may have seen or heard anything unusual during the early morning hours. Tips began to come in from across the region. Each report was documented, reviewed, and followed up. Local businesses were contacted. Surrounding rural properties were searched. Officers examined wooded areas, open fields, and isolated roads outside city limits. Law enforcement agencies coordinated across jurisdictions in an effort to trace any possible movement after that night. Despite the scope of the investigation, no confirmed evidence was ever discovered that explained how 3 women disappeared from a single residence without detection. No verified witness, no physical trace, and no confirmed suspect. Over the years, several theories have been discussed. One theory suggests that the women may have known the person responsible. Another considers the possibility of a random abduction. There has also been speculation involving individuals later convicted of unrelated crimes. However, no theory has ever been proven. Law enforcement continues to classify the case as an active investigation. More than 3 decades have passed since that night in June. The home on East Delmar Street still stands, but the questions remain. What happened inside that house? How could 3 women vanish without a trace? And why has no definitive answer ever been found? The disappearance of Sherrill Levitt, Suzie Streeter, and Stacy McCall remains one of Missouri's most enduring unsolved mysteries.